Hey guys, welcome to the sixth tutorial of C++. This is Luwalim Shokawanji. Forgive me, I'm sounding low. I've been sneezing a lot and I'm having these headaches and I'm scared to go to the clinic. You know the kind of time I'm living in, the corona time. So yeah, you might go there, you might just have a normal fever and you might be impounded for two weeks. Yeah, I ain't doing that. No way. Anyway, today we'll be looking at the if statements. We're continuing. This is a part 2. If you missed part 1, you can please go back in the playlist and find it. So let's get started. So today we will look at the analytical thinking. We're going to write a program that will be requesting a number from the user. Once the user provides a number, it's going to tell the user if that number is an even number or if it's not an even number. So let's get started. So the first thing is variable declaration. How many variables do we need? We need a number from a user, so we simply need one variable. So I'll call it num. Yeah, I'll call it num, semicolon. What's the next thing we do? Let's request a value from the user. Enter a number. What do we do when we request something from the user? Always the cin, and with the cin always give c into what? A variable that you've created, and we've created a variable calling what? Num. So once we have that number, we want to test if it's an even number. So what are the properties of an even number? What's an even number? Someone define an even number for me. So define an even number for me, come on. Alright, yeah, you've defined it. So an even number is any number that is divisible by what? By 2. So we need to test. When you test, just know you're using an if statement. Whenever you're testing something, you will use an if statement. We'll talk about other kind of statements later, but here we're dealing with an if statement when we're testing. It's the most basic thing that you're going to find out there. So what are we testing? We're testing the number the user has provided, which has been stored where? In num, the variable num. So we have to test if num divided by 2 does not give us a remainder, then it's an even number. We could say this, but this will give us something totally wrong when we use the division sign. So we're trying to check for the remainder. If the remainder gives us 0, then then it's an even number. So if we're checking for the remainder, we use the percent sign, the modulus sign. This will check for the remainder. So if num modulus 2 gives us 0, then we know there's no remainder, meaning it's an even number. What do we want to do? We want to see how to say this is an even number. This is an even number, semicolon. Else, if there's a remainder, then we know to say what? Then we know to say it's not what? It's not an even number, of course. That's what we know to say. So there we have it. So let's compile, run this, then go through the code. I've always doubted, is 12 an even number? I think 12 shouldn't qualify to be an even number. Anyway, this is an even number, so yeah, this super cool program that Musho wrote just proves me wrong. So this is an even number. Let's test it again. Right now I'm going to enter, maybe you think maybe I just manipulated it. Let's go with 4. An even number. Alright, okay, that works well. Alright, 17 should definitely have been included among the even numbers, but who am I? The program simply says what? It's not an even number. So wow, let's go through the code. So here we're requesting a number from the user, and we're collecting that number from the user, placing it in a variable that we declared calling num. When that number is placed in this variable num, then we use that variable to make tests. So if num modulus 2 gives us 0, if the remainder is 0, then we know to say it's a what? It's an even number. Then we'll display it, say this is an even number. Else, it's not an even number. So simple, straightforward solution here. Simple, straightforward solution. Let's do something drastic. Yeah, so what we're going to do is let's write a program that will request for a password. No, let's try names. Let's compare names. Yeah, so we're going to have a name, so we'll say string username, and then we'll have another string, and this one we'll call it confirm. Yeah, we'll call it confirm. That's what we're going to call it. Then we're going to say cout enter name, and L, forgot the semicolon, and L. What do we expect when we make a request? We expect to see in. What are we seeing in? We're seeing in username, semicolon. Next we'll see out say confirm name. Is that not what usually happens on Facebook, or when you're opening a certain account somewhere? They would usually tell you password, confirm password. So yeah, this is basically the same structure. So what do? We see in, we let the user confirm the name, and what the user will enter, will place it in the variable we've created. We're calling what? Confirm. Then we test if username is equal to the name that has been stored in what? In the variable we're calling confirm. Then we should say cout verification.